Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a candy shop. I know that this candy shop is a little bit over the top, I'm well aware of that, but I wanted to make it instantly recognizable, that when you see this thing, even from a little bit of a distance, you know what it is. I think that this is pretty obvious that this is either a candy shop or an evil witch's gingerbread house. One of the two. You guys have been asking for this for quite some time, and I'd really appreciate it if you do like this build. Please slap a like on this video. I'd really appreciate it. Comment down below. Let me know what you want me to make next, especially if it's city related. You guys have been asking for a lot of city related builds. I'd love to hear what you guys want to see next. Follow me on Twitter at TSMC360 and you can do the same thing. Check out the card system. Check out the description below for my real world buildings playlist, because that'll have loads of things that you can add to your city. And if you just check that out, you'll find loads and loads of stuff that I think that you guys might really want to build. But there's more than enough talking. Why don't we build the candy shop? So if you want to make it, here's what you're going to need. Grab yourself some block of quartz and some birchwood planks. Grab pillar quartz block, quartz stairs, quartz slabs, red stained clay, yellow stained clay, orange stained clay, and finally grab yourself some white stained glass block. Now we will actually need loads more materials, but we'll just have to grab those as we need them because we just don't have the room. Well, once you have each one of those materials and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'm going to be making it over here, should be pretty good. And once you've figured out where you want to make it, you want to kick off your build with this sequence of blocks coming up from the ground, and there want to be 9 blocks in total, because what we're going to do here is we're going to place a red stained clay coming up from the ground, followed by a pillar block, red stained clay, pillar block, that's 4, then a red stained clay, pillar block, that's 6, then we want to do a red stained clay, pillar block, that's 8, and then we want to place another pillar block. So we want to have something which should look like this, and there should be in total 4 of the red stained clays. We then want to take this last pillar block and we want to go right of it by 14. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We then want to go down from that 14th block by 1 with the pillar block. We then want to connect it to the ground with the alternating pattern of red stained clay, pillar, red stained clay, pillar, red stained clay, and pillar's a little hard to... Oh, we got it, and then red stained clay right on the ground to give us something which should look like this. Well, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So we want to, starting from that very first red stained clay block, we want to go right of it, and we want to go right of it by 5 with the birchwood planks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then, going right of that, want to do a block of quartz, and on top of that block of quartz do a red stained clay, block of quartz, then you want to do a red stained clay, then go right by 1 the block of quartz, red stained clay, go down by 1 the block of quartz, 1 red stained clay, then connect down to the ground like this. What you then want to do is you just want to connect that opposite side of the door to the opposite side of your candy shop like that. We then want to, going up on top of the 3 middle blocks in these 2 rows of 5 birchwood planks that we have, we want to start from, okay, it's easier if we do this. So starting from on top of this very first birchwood plank block that we placed, we want to go right, and on top of the second block we want to place a yellow stained clay. Right of that, a block of quartz, and right of that, an orange stained clay. Above it, do the same. Yellow stained clay, quartz, orange. Stack 2 rows of white stained glass, that's 1 and 2. And then you want to stack a row of 2 birchwood planks, that's 1 and 2. And then we don't have the materials that we need to continue from here. So for a while we can throw away the quartz stairs and we can throw away the quartz slabs. And we want to get out the light blue stained clay and the lime stained clay. We want to go in front of this second row of birchwood planks, and going from left to right we want to do 1 red stained clay, 1 quartz, then 1 blue stained clay. You want to do the same thing 1 row below and 1 row outwards. So where you have the quartz, place quartz, where you have the clay, place clay. Down below, just below the window, you want to take this top row of orange and yellow and everything, and you want to extend it out by 1 row. So where you have yellow stained clay, where you have orange stained clay, orange stained clay. Once you've done that on the left hand side, we now want to go over to the right hand side and we want to do the same thing. So starting from this very left hand birchwood plank block, we want to, on top of this next row, going from left to right, do one birchwood plank, then one orange stained clay, one quartz, one yellow. Do the same row directly on top of that. So where you have yellow, place yellow, where you have quartz, place quartz. Then on top of this, do 2 rows of glass. That's 1 row and 2 row. Then 2 rows of birch on top of that. That's 1 row and 2 row. In front of the second row, going from left to right, do 1 light blue clay, then 1 block of quartz, 1 red clay. And then do the same row, 1 row below, 1 row outwards. Like this. We then want to take this upper row at the lower half of the window and we want to extend it out by 1 row. Like that. So we want to have something which should look like this. So once you have that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. You now want to come to the very top of the entrance, and where we have this top row of the entrance, we want to go in front, starting from this top left hand corner, in front of this block by 1 the light blue clay, then go right of it by 1 the yellow stained clay, go right by 1 the lime stained clay. Like this. We then want to take this yellow stained clay here and we want to move up above it by 2 rows. So this is the first row, the second row. Hold that place, get rid of your materials because it will just be easier. Grab yourself some quartz stairs, we'll need some purple stained clay and some magenta stained clay. From this block that you had saved, you want to place a purple stained clay, above it a magenta stained clay, above that a purple stained clay. Place a purple stained clay left and right of the magenta stained clay, and then place quartz stairs in the appropriate positions in the corners of the plus shape that you've made. So you'll have something which should look a little bit like that. And that's perfect. That's exactly what you're looking for. Well, once you've got that taken care of, it's probably about time that we start working on the other sides of this thing. So we're going to need to continue on. We'll need some pillar quartz block. We'll probably need some red stained clay once again. We'll also need some birchwood planks. We'll need some white stained glass block wherever we can find it. We'll also need, I know that we'll need some yellow stained clay, some orange stained clay, and that's all we can carry for now. So once you have all of that, you want to come all the way up to the top, yet behind of your candy shop. You want to take the 2 top corners of your candy shop and you want to drag them backwards at each by 14. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And the other one as well, that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think that's about right. Yeah, it is. It lines up. You want to connect each one of those blocks to the ground with this sequence of blocks. You want to do 1 pillar quartz, then 1 red stained clay, 1 pillar quartz, 1 clay, 1 pillar quartz. It's so hard to say, it's like a tongue twister. You guys get the idea until you eventually connect to the ground. And remember, that's 1 quartz, 1 red stained clay, 1 quartz, 1 clay, 1 quartz, 1 clay, etc, etc, until you eventually reach the ground and you'll have something which should look like that. And if you want, you can also connect those top 14th blocks together. You can just connect them together left and right like that. Well, now once you've got that taken care of, it's probably about time that we take care of the left and the right hand sides of the candy shop. And these are identical, by the way, guys, for those of you that are wondering. So we'll start with the left hand side because why not? We want to take the very bottom row of the candy shop and we want to add a row of birchwood planks to the bottom like that. We then want to take the next row and we want to go left and right on this next row and we want to do 1 birchwood plank, then 1 yellow stained clay, and then we're missing a material. We can get rid of purple stained clay and magenta stained clay for now, and we'll need a block of quartz. And you want to continue going right, you want to do a block of quartz, then an orange stained clay. Then stack 3 layers of white stained glass on top of this. So that'll be 1, 2, 3 layers of glass. You then want to stack 1 row of birchwood planks. Then for the next row, we're going to need another material, a lot of material swapping here. We'll need some light blue clay. For the next row, going from left to right, we want to do 1 blue clay, 1 quartz, 1 red clay. Then for the row below and in front of this, we want to do 1 blue clay. We then want to do 1 quartz, then 1 red stained clay, like this. Once you've done that on the left, you actually want to do the same thing on the right. So we'll come to the right hand side here and we'll start from the very right end. And we want to do, going from right to left, we want to do 1 birchwood plank, followed by 1 yellow stained clay, then 1 quartz, then 1 orange stained clay. Then stack 3 layers of glass on top of this. That's 1, 2, and 3 layers of glass. We then want to do a layer of birchwood planks. Then for the next row, we want to go from left to right, do 1 red stained clay, 1 quartz, then 1 light blue. Then for the next row down, and in front of this, we want to go from left to right, do 1 red stained clay, 1 quartz, then 1 light blue clay. We'll end up with something that should look like this. Now, to make this next bit, it's probably easiest if we just completely fill in this left-hand side of the candy shop. So, we're going to fill it in with the birchwood planks, just in case you guys were wondering. I'm sure that you had that figured out already, because, I mean, it's pretty obvious what you're going to be filling it in with, right? And once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. You want to, and the easiest way to measure this out is if you see this left-hand window here, and you see the very right center block, this one. You want to move right, and you want to leave a gap of 1, so that's the gap of 1. And on top of this block, going right, you want to do a red stained clay, block of quartz, red stained clay. Above and below the quartz, place a red stained clay. And then, inside of the corners of that, you want to place the appropriate facing quartz stairs, like that. So that's just like a piece of candy, the exact same sort of thing that you have on the front of your candy shop. And there you go, what can I say? That is exactly what you want to have. Nice and simple. So once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So you want to come all the way over to the opposite side here, and you want to do, it's pretty much the exact same thing. So we'll start off with the layer of birchwood planks right at the bottom, and then for the next row, going from left to right, you want to do 1 birchwood. You then want to do 1 yellow stained clay, 1 quartz, 1 orange stained clay. Stack 3 layers of glass, that'll be 1, 2, and 3 layers of glass. You then want to do a layer of birchwood planks, and then for the next row, going from left to right, you want to do 1 blue clay, 1 quartz, 1 red stained clay. In front of the birch, going from left to right, do the same pattern. So that's blue, white, red. Do the same thing on the opposite side. So coming to the opposite side here, we want to, starting from the very right hand side here, we want to go from right to left, do 1 birchwood planks. Then we want to do 1 yellow stained clay, 1 quartz, 1 orange stained clay. On top of this, we want to stack 3 rows of glass. That'll be 1, 2, and 3 rows of glass. We then, for the next row, want to stack a layer of birch, and then for the next row, going from left to right, you want to do 1 red stained clay, 1 quartz, 1 light blue clay. In front of the birchwood planks, you want to, going from left to right, do the same pattern: red, white, blue. Fill in this side of your candy shop. So we'll fill this in with birchwood planks, and once you've filled this side in, you've actually filled in the majority of your candy shop, actually. The back of the candy shop doesn't have very much to it at all. It's quite easy on the back of the candy shop, although there is something there. I will say that there is something there, because I wanted even the back of the candy shop to be completely obvious what's there. But once you've got that taken care of, we now of course want to do the suite that is on the middle side. So we want to take this very center block of the left hand window, the right center block. We want to leave a gap of 1 between the window and what we're placing, and we want to place a red stained clay. Go right of that by 1 with the block of quartz, then 1 with the red stained clay. Take that quartz, go up and below by 1 with the red stained clay. Then place appropriate facing quartz stairs inside each one of the 4 corners of the suite. So you want to end up with something that should look like that. And that is that side of your candy shop done. Why don't we move over to the opposite side here, and once you the opposite side, why don't we move to the very back of the candy shop? I'm getting all confused. Move to the back of the candy shop and we can work on this. So first of all, we're just going to want to completely fill in the back of the candy shop with birchwood planks. So the back of this thing is mainly plain, but there is something back here, and I'll explain why it is. So you might have seen from the thumbnail and from the beginning of the video that the candy shop has a big giant piece of candy above it, right? We're going to have that same piece of candy on the back of this thing. That's what we're going to be doing. That's what we're going to be doing. So once you've got that taken care of, to make this piece of candy, you don't need too much, and we can get rid of all of our stuff again. Grab yourself some block of quartz. We'll also need the quartz stairs. You'll also want to grab yourself some red sandstone stairs, and you'll need yourself some red sandstone block as well. Great. Well, come to the very bottom left-hand side of the back of your candy shop. And you want to, moving right, you want to find the 4th birchwood plank coming in. So this is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th plank. You want to move up by 2, 1 and 2. Take this block and place a quartz in front of it. You then want to upper right diagonally from this, and this is difficult to place. You want to place an upside down red sandstone stair. Above this, you want to place an opposite facing, yet upside down sandstone stair. Up left diagonally from this, a block of quartz. You want to go right of those stairs by 1 row with your quartz, 1 row with your sandstone, 1 row with the quartz. On the end, you want to have an upside down red sandstone stairs, and on top of that, a red sandstone stairs. You then want to have diagonal blocks of quartz coming from each one of the 2 corners of the candy, and then underneath the candy you want to, going from quartz block to quartz block left to right, you want to have an upside down quartz stairs, red sandstone stairs, quartz stairs. Above this, going from left to right, quartz stairs, red sandstone, quartz. So you want to have something which should look like that, and that's quite simply just a piece of candy on the back of the shop, so that even when you are looking at the back of the shop, you can quite easily see, hey, what is that? It kind of makes you want to investigate if you don't already initially understand what that is. So once you've got that taken care of, the next step of this shop is to actually put on the roof. So to put on the roof, we'll need a couple of things. We need some red stained clay, and we'll also need some quartz slabs. We'll also need some white stained glass, and we'll need some red stained glass. And later on, because we're going to do this all in one go, we'll need some birchwood planks. Once you have each one of those, this is what you want to do next. So you want to, starting from this corner block right here, this top front left hand corner of the shop, this pillar quartz, you want to place a quartz stairs in front of this. Going right, leaving a gap of 1, place a stairs. Leave a gap of 1, stairs, gap of 1, stairs, gap of 1, stairs. Keep going. Go all the way around onto the opposite side, and you want to leave just a gap of 1, and you want to place upside down stairs leaving a gap of 1, and that includes the corners like this. So can you see on the corner, you want to leave that gap, you want to go around it. So you want to just have your upside down quartz stairs going all the way around the top of your candy shop like this, in this formation. Place red stained clay in between each one of those stairs. So you want to have the red stained clay placed in between each one of these stairs. And I know that this kind of looks Christmassy, so you might not want to use the red stained clay, but I don't know, I like it. I like it. Maybe pink, but then that might look like an ice cream parlor. Kind of up to you, but there you go, that's the pattern that we want. And then we want to place quartz slabs going all the way around the edge of what we've just done, like this. So just go all the way around and place quartz slabs all the way around the edge of what we've done. Well, that was just moderately inconvenient, wasn't it? I don't know why it decided to disconnect me from Xbox Live. That's probably not a good thing at all. But still, continue going all the way around with your quartz slabs, and there we go, you'll end up with something that should look like this. Before we move into the mass production part of this, we have now got to add another piece of candy. So, this piece of candy is right up above the very center of the shop. So we want to, and this one's a bit bigger, by the way. I should mention that this one is ever so slightly bigger. So we're going to need to, on top of this quartz block, this very center quartz, this very center pillar quartz that we have right at the top center of the shop. You should find it easily. It's in line with the entrance. On top of this, you want to move on top of this by, let's say like 2 with your red stained clay. That's 1 and 2, like that. Then on top of that red stained clay, you want to place a red sandstone. Destroy the 2 supporting blocks. You then want to go up on top of your red sandstone stairs by 3. That's 1, 2, and 3. Then take out your block of quartz and go left and right of these 2 center blocks by 1 with your block of quartz, like this. You then want to place red sandstone stairs, the lower one upside down and the upper one regular facing, and you want to have them facing off against each other, like that. You then want to have upside down quartz stairs left and right of the very center, top and bottom red sandstone blocks. So you want to have a shape which should look like that. you then want to take out your block of quartz, and you want to have diagonal blocks of quartz coming off from each one of the red sandstone stairs. So the red sandstone that you have on the left and the red sandstone that you have on the right, you want to have quartz blocks like that. Now it's time for us to make this piece of candy a little bit 3D. So the way that we'll do this, we'll take the center strip of 4 red sandstone. We'll do an upside down red sandstone stairs at the bottom and a regular facing at the top. We'll do 2 red sandstone in between. And then we'll have, coming out of the middle, left and right, we want to have upside down and regular facing quartz stairs. So we'll have upside down and regular facing quartz stairs like that. And that's a giant piece of candy. Great. Do the same on the back, just to make sure that the back is 3D as well. So at the bottom, upside down sandstone, at the top, regular facing. Connecting them together with red sandstone, do upside down and regular facing quartz stairs on the left and right to give you a shape which should look like that. That's great, and that is just a big massive advertisement for the candy shop. And there you go. You don't really... I did actually have it 1 block lower in the original, to be completely honest with you, but it doesn't really matter how high it is. I don't mind at all that it's actually 1 row high, because why not? So once you've got that taken care of, it's now time for us to do 2 things. I'm going to completely replace the floor in the candy shop. I'm going to replace the floor, and I'm going to replace it with birchwood planks. That's what I'm going to do. I'm also going to fill in the roof. I'm going to fill in the roof with rows of glass. I'm going to have a row of white stained glass going from front to back, and a row of red stained glass going from front to back. Red, white, red, white, red, white. You guys get the idea. That's how the roof's going to look. So I'm going to fill in the roof with this pattern. I'm going to destroy the floor, replace it with birchwood planks, and then I'm going to be back in just a moment to show you guys how that looks. So this is what your candy shop should look like once you have filled in the roof and filled in the floor as well. You should be able to see that since the glass is transparent. Very easy. You just fill in the roof with alternating rows of glass, and the floor is of course birchwood planks. That's how that's supposed to look. Well, once you've got all of that taken care of, the next thing that we're going to do, and pause this if necessary if you are still working on that. I understand that that takes quite a while, so if you need to pause, hit pause, press play. Once you've got that finished, and you continue on with the rest of us. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to do the outside a little bit, just a little bit. So to do the outside, we're going to take the very bottoms of the entrance here, so these quartz blocks, and digging into the floor in front of them, we want to have a row of 5 dug into the floor. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the right as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In those spaces, we want to, starting from the entrance and moving our way up, we want to have red stained clay, quartz, red stained clay, quartz, red stained clay. And we want to have that same thing for the row as well on the right. Destroy the center of that and replace it with birchwood planks, like so. We then want to... Oh, I'm missing something. If you take out some red stained glass, you can place a red stained glass like right at the very top center of the entrance. That's a very small detail that I missed earlier. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to place alternating flowers going all the way around the shop. So I'm using red tulips and oxeye daisies, just because I'm kind of keeping with the theme of the whole like red and white of the shop. But you guys could use any sort of flower that you want, or no flowers at all, or do whatever you want, really. I'm just giving you guys a couple of ideas for the outside of the shop. That's all I'm doing here. Plus, I'll also give you a little bit of inspiration for the inside of the shop, just in case you're completely lost. But I doubt that I'm going to tutorial it, because I'm not very happy with it, basically. So, this is the outside of the shop once you add the flowers to it. So, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to dig all the way around the flowers here, and I'm going to dig around them, and inside of the space that I dig around, I'm going to place stone slabs. Just because I like the colour of stone slabs, not for any other particular reason. I just like the colour, and I like the texture of the stone slab in relation to, well, quite a few of the other materials. I'm on a bit of a stone slab kick, so I'm just going to add a layer of stone slabs going all the way around the outside here. You know what? I'm going to try a new feature. I'm also going to speed this up. So once you've placed all of the stone slabs, we then want to, in front of the shop, and this is just in front, we want to knock out 2 rows, and we want to replace these rows with cyan stained clay. This is just kind of like a bit of a sidewalk or a pavement, whichever part of the world that you're in, whatever you want to call them. This is a bit of a sidewalk slash pavement, and you can walk in and around in front of the shop. We're then going to destroy in front of the cyan stained clay, and we're going to place these stone slabs again. This is to take you like onto a road or whatever. So it'll look a little something like that, and that looks quite good, doesn't it? Some other things that you might want to do just to the outside is you may want to grab yourself some saplings, and you might want to grab some bone meal, and you might want to throw just a few trees all the way around. Like I'm not going to do loads of these because this is obviously not like my main world. This isn't my creative world, so I don't really feel a need to plant loads and loads and loads. But you might also want to plant a little bit of grass life as well, if you so choose. That's completely up to you. Or if you want to do something a little bit cuter, it kind of depends what world that you're dealing with. Like if you wanted to do some like candy canes outside, or maybe some like giant lollipops or whatever, I mean, it kind of depends what your world's like. You could absolutely do that. But there you go, that's your sweet shop. That's the outside completely done. The inside is a completely different story. So for the inside, and I have designed an interior, but I'm not going to include it in the tutorial, and here's why. It's not very good. It's a very easy, generic interior, and you guys will be able to see what you have to do just by looking at it if you do want to copy it. So why don't I flip over to my original candy shop, and I can show you guys what I've got working. Welcome to the candy shop. So the inside of my candy shop in my actual creative world looks a little something like this. So you can see that we have like plenty of like shelves, and we have like plenty of bins and stuff that you can like grab candy out of. I mean, that's what all of these are supposed to be jars. Like the glass and the stone slabs, those are supposed to represent jars. I know, it's not very clear, is it? And then these are just like racks that you can grab candy, and obviously the carpet's supposed to be different colors of candy that you can just grab. This is the till, like this is where you'd buy it and stuff. I don't actually have like a register, but you could place one on that back corner. It has 2 jars on it. We have some shelves with some jars. So like I said, like a very, very easy, very simple, generic interior. And this is why I'm not showing you guys how to make it, because it is so easy and so simple. If you guys want to copy it, you can. I mean, here's a front view. Here's a view like just looking down. Here's the opposite view. Obviously, you can pause this at any point if you do want to pause it and if you want to copy it for yourself. But I'd highly suggest just making your own interior, and that should provide you with all of the information that you actually need to do the inside of your candy shop. You'll just have to pause that at different points, and there you go. You'll just have to pause that at different points, and you'll be able to make that interior, or design your own. Honestly, design your own. It'll be better than mine. This is the candy shop. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you have. I thought that I did a pretty decent job with this candy shop, although it does look a little bit diabetic, doesn't it? It's a little bit too sweet, but it's up to you guys whether you want to build it or not. I think it looks really good, and I think that it does look like a proper candy shop. Like, as soon as you see this thing, you're like, hey, there's no mistake in what this thing is. It's got like 2 sweets just on the front of it, and so many colors that'll make your eyes pop. So, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. Comment down below, what do you want me to make next? Especially if it's city related. You guys have been asking for a lot more city stuff recently. Let me know down there in the comment section. Do the same thing on Twitter. Follow me at TSMC360 on Twitter. Check out the card system. Check out the description below for my real world building playlist. You'll find loads more real world builds that I think that you guys might really want to make. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.